As longtime lovers of bourbon and all types of whiskey, we know how hard it can be to find unique bourbon at traditional retail stores. That's why we're proud to announce our partnership with BourbonOutfitter.com. The good people at Bourbon Outfitter have years of experience and specialize in providing an array of special barrel picks and other whiskeys that you are sure to love. Best of all, everything at BourbonOutfitter.com can be shipped right to your door. So avoid the hassle and head on over to BourbonOutfitter.com today. Enter code THEMASHUP to receive a special discount on your next order. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long.
Tequila podcast? That would be the worst podcast in the history of podcasts because none of us know anything about tequila.
Probably called the Agave Up.
Yeah, Agave Up. Agave Up. That would be good.
Welcome everyone to episode 111 of The Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you can hear all week long. We're your hosts, Kenny, Anthony, and Steven. Hello, fellas.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on? This is a new combo here.
New combo, new setup.
So, gentlemen, it's nice to be over here sharing a space with this three of us tonight. And I actually wanted to share a quick story about an unexpected spirits experience that I had just like a week ago.
Did it involve a Ouija board?
Spirits, unexpected spirits.
No.
Are you calling them?
Oh,
Get them, getting into things. So, have either of you guys tasted much tequila?
yeah. I mean, I've had 4 or 5 different like sipping quality tequilas.
Yeah. So, sipping quality tequilas. Steven, how about you, my man?
More of a mixer.
Mixer.
I haven't had much experience with the sips.
What was the thing back in the day? Was it when you had a tequila shot, you're probably drinking, what is that, like the worst stuff that the bar has? What was the lick, suck, shoot? What the hell was that? You guys ever do that with tequila shots? 3 Wise Men? I don't know what it was. Is that you don't remember that?
Yeah, I didn't drink much back in the day, man.
Okay, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just remember when you're talking about sipping tequilas versus actual tequila, I associate it with like the first shot that I took a shot and almost puked kind of thing.
Definitely. Because like whenever somebody comes over and we start, us bring out some tequila, everyone has like, no, I can't do tequila because they're shooting it and getting drunk with it and shooting it and mixing it and shooting it. And I'm like, this is different. You're going to sip it like you're going to do bourbon.
Exactly. So a good buddy of mine who isn't really much of like, I mean, he enjoys a cocktail if we get together with our families because our kids are the same age. It's like one of those things where we'll have some drinks. So it's not like he doesn't drink, but I was so shocked. So we went to my buddy Dan's house. After dinner, he just pulls out 3 bottles of tequila and he's like, let's do tequila tasting. And I'm like, impromptu tequila tasting. I'm all for that. You know, like, are you going to turn that down? I'm not going to turn it down. So
did you have much experience before that?
No, not really. Like, I mean, maybe one sipping tequila for me, just maybe something I tried with you, Kenny, or I'm trying to remember if my brother had one, but I'm not really into sipping tequila either. So I just no idea. Right. So he pulls out, I'm going to probably botch this. One of those, what's George Clooney's brand? You know, George Clooney's brand comes out. You're looking at Casamigos. You ever heard of that?
Sure.
Sure. George Clooney's brand of vodka is called Casamigos. So he had a version of that, which I think was a pretty decent pour from what I could tell, like maybe a $50 bottle. Then he had Don Julio 1942, which looked like a little big, like
it's tall, right?
Yeah, like a bat. You could like take it and smack somebody with it. It was a really tall bottle. And then he had this crazy one that's called Clase Azul. Yeah, there you go. See, I can't.
That is the bell.
We got a bell that we're dinging here. What is that? No, oh no, there it is. Messed that up. Oh no,
it's broken.
It's broken.
The
bell's broken.
Anthony, great job.
And so while we're
so for people that don't know, there you go. This is I think a lot of people have seen this tequila bottle because it's like the white and blue ceramic one,
right? And I guess these are hand painted, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. And they have some really expensive ones too that are like more of a clay looking and like black color or gray color that are like $2,000, $2,500.
Wow.
Well, as luck would have it, because you have this bottle, this was the exact same bottle that my buddy Dan pulled out. So we had these 3 sipping tequilas in front of us now, and he says, you know, we'll taste through these. And I'm thinking about bourbon the whole time, right? Like, because what we do is we taste bourbon. It was really unique. So I went from the cheap version to the Clase was, I think, the most expensive of the 3. I'm butchering that, right? It's Clase.
Clase Azul.
Sorry, we're used to me butchering names and things on this podcast. So anyway, I tasted through them, and the unique thing about it was they all three tasted completely different, but I was able to pick up flavors from them that reminded me of bourbon. So the first one, the George Clooney one that we'll call, he's a Louisville native. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he's from Indiana. Cool.
Oh, yeah. Little dig on good old, can I call it Louisville?
Yeah. Dirty birds.
There you go. But that one tastes a little bit like vanilla-ish, like very vanilla, nice. Like almost like a holiday spice candle vanilla, which I was like, that's not what I remember the shots tasting like back in the day. The other one, the Don Julio, tasted like kind of earthy, but almost like a rye, like a rye bourbon or something like that. It was really interesting, but of course with tequila flavors. And then the Clase Azul was like completely different, very sweet. And I don't know, man. Like I just thought to myself, have you guys heard that tequila is actually outselling bourbon in a lot of markets? Did you guys know that?
I got a feeling it was hot because I feel like I've seen it a lot recently.
Yeah,
and so I feel like it has a huge uptick right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't even know what to think about that because I'm just so used to what we do, drinking bourbons and everything like that I haven't even really thought about another spirit. And now I'm kind of like thinking to myself, most people talk about being a bourbon drinker and going to rum or trying something like that. Or like,
that's what I was going to say. Honestly, I am gotten into rum and Armagnac. So.
Okay, and that makes sense. But for me, I'm like, thanks to Dan, now I'm thinking to myself, like, maybe, do you think we need to do a spinoff, start a tequila podcast? That would be the worst podcast in the history of podcasts because none of us know anything about tequila.
What we call it, the Agave Up?
Agave Up. That would be good. I don't know. I was just really appreciative that he busted these out, and I had that different experience, which is,
it sounds like it was a good experience.
Taste bourbon as long as he tastes bourbon. Yeah. We're used to drinking all that stuff that I was just like, man, so big ups to Dan for.
How does a tequila age? In a barrel?
Do you know much about that? I'm not I think it ages.
Like you said,
barrels.
vanilla. I'm just kind of curious. Is
most of them. Well, I don't know about all of them, but we have a lot of the ones that I have over there that are all done in used bourbon barrels. So Corazon is huge. Like you buy tons of Corazon picks that are finished in Eagleware barrels, Blanton's barrels.
That's because Corazon
WLW barrels. Blah 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 blah.
Corazon's a Daddy Says.
I've got a
Daddy Fat Says.
There was a Hedoro that was finished in King Kentucky barrels.
Oh, really?
So a lot of those are getting finished in ex-bourbon barrels.
So it's an imposter spirit. So they're stealing from bourbon.
But I don't know how they start, though. I don't know how they start.
Okay,
I don't know if it's
there is a purist style of tequila, right?
Yeah, purist style. Because some of those brands. If it's overly sweet, then it's probably got the additives. They don't have the strict rules like how bourbon does.
Okay, so what would that be aged in if it's not? Because it can't be a bourbon barrel.
They could have syrup in it. So I'm saying it could be it could be it's additives, like legit additives.
Okay,
so
artificial flavors too.
100%.
Dang,
so it's the Diet Coke of the spirit world.
There you go. Right.
So it's like we were talking a few episodes ago about the burgers, and I was talking about Mexican.
Yeah,
it's like I love chips and salsa at Chili's better than any authentic Mexican place around. So it's kind of like I might like this tequila, but it's got additives, and that's why I love it. Whereas a purist would not love it, maybe. Or something,
No, I got you. So we had a new review from B.R. Smithers, and his review was entitled, "Are You Not Entertained?" with an exclamation point, right?
Very Gladiator.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, "Yes, I am. Found this podcast a few months ago and been working on getting caught up on the past episodes." He said, "Just like whiskey, you guys have gotten better with time." Oh, that's nice. They said, "Love the commentary, the banter, and the info you guys provide on every episode." They said, "P.S. Burger King is just gross. It's all about that In-N-Out double." So
I guess when we started, we're like a 2-year wheat, right?
Yeah,
and now are we a W12?
Oh, we might be a Weller 12 now. What do you think of that? And then
Old Fitz.
Old Fitz. There you go. Nice. I'll be an Old Fitz. But also, I was going to say we appreciate that comment there, BR, and we also wanted to say that the reason why we didn't talk about In-N-Out burgers is because we're in the middle of Kentucky.
We don't have them.
There isn't any In-N-Out burgers as far as I know.
If you'd like a shout out, just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. The next time we record, we will give you a shout out. So, gentlemen, for this week, a new bottle.
Yes, sir.
A very new bottle. We are looking at a Rittenhouse Straight Rye Whiskey Bib.
Nice. So, yes, we got the Bottle and Bond Rittenhouse Straight Rye Whiskey. This is from the Heaven Hill Distillery. The bottle date is 2022. The ABV is 50%. Proof is 100. Age is 4 years old. This was barreled on 3/26/18 and bottled in August of 22. And the mash bill on this is 51% rye, 37% corn, 12% malted barley. The MSRP, this is a store pick from Liquor Barn. So the MSRP was $34.99. And if you were looking at the shelf, and they have a regular version of this, correct, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah. So bottled in bond,
$25.
$25 for a 4-year Rittenhouse 100 proof bottle in bond. So there you have it.
So looking at this bottle, I do have to say I've seen this on the shelf before.
Okay.
And I think I've passed it up because of the label.
What I think you've seen on the shelf is the shelfer. This is so much harder to even tell it's a pick than like when they do a Logic Reg barrel proof versus regular 94s and all that.
Oh, we're back
this
to
is
Heaven
literally Hill. We're back to Heaven Hill again.
The not differentiating
Anthony, this
stuff.
is your big complaint. That little word right there says Liquor Barn.
Right.
That's it. Everything else looks identical.
I'm just saying in general. This red and black.
Oh,
you're
not missing much when you didn't pick up the regular one.
It's not screaming at
me.
The
regular one is nothing special.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at it here and I see the thing that I like about it, and I just love when companies do this, is they have their rye grain on the side of the logo. And I don't know, do you guys know if that's an original logo? Because this brand has a lot of history to it. But it does not jump out at me either. I just like the little rye on there. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Rye. Look at me.
It almost looks like a box of cornflakes,
right?
With the grains on the side.
It does. And then the other thing I'm going to say, and I don't know why I'm going to say this, is it reminds me of like an old bowling alley logo. It's like, I don't know. It's just really weird to say, but it does. It's like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Like the Bolorama sign or something. That's like great. That. It just, so it's not the prettiest bottle.
And it's a rye, and there's no green.
Oh, yeah, you're right. What, they broke the cardinal rule. Why isn't it green?
I don't know why.
It's true.
We asked the question a long time ago, Kenny, in one of our episodes, why is most rye whiskey in a green bottle? Do you know? I have no idea why.
I actually do not know, but that is true. If you look at most every rye out there, it's always green.
I know. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
I actually think that Buffalo Trace screwed up, not to mention Buffalo Trace, but we can't go an episode without me mentioning my favorite Tater bottles. But they screwed up on the Thomas Handy.
Did you get that Total Wine?
Total Wine. They made that orange foil. They left the green
there.
for the Sazerac 18. They need to have green foil on all of those.
I mean, there's Nashville Barrel. The bourbon on the right's blue, and the rye on the left is green.
Yep. Green. So we're taking points off for the screw top on that bottle and for the fact that it's not green. But yeah, it's not pretty. So I don't know a ton about Rittenhouse Rye. I do know that when I mentioned going vintage bourbon ad shopping, I did find an old Rittenhouse Rye ad from that place that I was bourbon shopping at. And the quick history, because I always like to give you my incomplete quick histories, is that Rittenhouse Straight Rye Whiskey has a lot of heritage to it. It was originally founded in 1934 by the Continental Distillers in Philadelphia.
John Wick.
Who's that?
Continental, right? John Wick movies.
That's John Wick?
The Continental, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is. Jeez. How did I miss that? And so originally, when this rye was distilled in Pennsylvania, it was almost like assumed to be like a really high rye, right? So old school rye was like 80 to 100% rye. And so that's the history of the brand. And of course, we've mentioned this before on the podcast that before the bourbon boom, rye was considered to really be the original American whiskey, right? It wasn't so much about bourbon, it was about rye, because rye was being produced in mass more so than bourbon was. We're talking pre-prohibition. And now we're living in an era where most people are like, ooh, I don't like rye. That's spicy. That's not a good one, right? So Rittenhouse has a lot of history, even if Heaven Hill has taken it now and flipped it a little bit to make it a more of a Kentucky-style rye at that 51% rye.
I've had some old Overholt Ross that are like 1906, 1908, stuff like that.
Wait a minute. Wait, back up.
Wait a minute.
You've had 1906, that's like a bottle name, or
no, that's when it was bottled.
Bottled.
Yeah.
Holy good God. So what did that taste like?
Well, so Stephen.
Yes.
We had this happen a couple episodes ago when I was recording with Anthony. Guess who else has had 1908 Old Overholt Rye? But doesn't remember it.
I'm going to say
your co-host,
Anthony.
Yes, because he gets.
Wait a minute.
You've had it at my house.
Are you
bro.
saying he gets so caught up?
It's one of the end of the night things, man. I'm like, I got something special for you guys.
Give me end of the night stuff. I think we're learning about a trend here.
There's two. I forgot what the previous one was. We'll have to look back at the other episode.
do remember. So, Stephen, what's happening here is Kenny is.
He gives you a century-old bourbon. You don't remember.
Yeah, I do remember it being really good. And
Unbelievable.
I really like your commentary about it.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's really nice. Yeah. It was so good. I don't even remember what it tasted like. No, but I mean, honest to God, like the fact that you've tried some of those early pre-prohibition ryes and you were nice enough to share one with me, which I do. I'm joking a little bit. I do remember that it was very good, but I don't even know, how do you get your hands on something like that? I mean,
well, you come off of about $6,000.
Oh God,
and you can have it.
Oh man, okay.
I did not pay that. I was very fortunate. I was gifted a sample of it, so I did not,
Oh, good.
I did not spend that, but I was gifted a sample.
Well, I wonder if this rye is gonna nose or taste anything like that.
Negative.
1906.
Well,
yeah.
Should we go for our first nosing then?
Sure.
Boom.
You know what this smells like?
What?
Seconds. As in dessert.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know where you were going with that one for a second, but I like it.
Very rich in the dessert category.
Yeah, I think that if I had to pick a dessert now, you got me thinking about dessert. I'm going to pick one here. Maybe like stone fruits, so like a peach cobbler.
Sorry, being so quiet. I'm still just nosing it.
I'm thinking of a nice caramel brownie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I do think there's a good contrast between a heavier, darker note with a brighter, more, I don't know, a little bit more citrusy. Like I said, like I don't know why I'm getting like a stone fruit or like a.
Well, here's the thing on this. It is 51% rye, barely legal rye.
Right.
So this is, I've given this to multiple people that do not like ryes, and they love this. A lot of those people I haven't told them it was a rye they're drinking, and they had no clue. So this is not drink like your traditional 95.5 MGP rye by any means at all.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was, is it Woodford have a barely rye as well? And others that we've tried.
Michter's, I think, is like 56, 58%.
Okay.
This is 51.
And I love Michter's rye.
Wild Turkeys are 56 as well, 58, somewhere through there.
We've reviewed some of those in past episodes, and I do know that we did like the mixtures.
Will you get the name right, please?
I can't get it going here.
In all these episodes, you're saying it wrong.
There you go. Yeah, I'm a mess tonight. That was you, actually, that said it wrong. I had to think about that for a second.
So this bottle, though, just for you guys, one of my buddies actually works at Liquor Barn.
Okay.
And he told me, he's like, hey, we have this Rittenhouse Rye pick.
Okay.
It's really, really good. You want me to hold you a couple? Because, I mean, it's not like he's holding a Pappy or something.
Right.
$35.
Yeah.
Right. It's $35 on the shelf.
People aren't running in to pick up the Rittenhouse Rye usually.
And we said hold it back. He didn't mean like, he goes, yeah, they were everywhere. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come by. So I went by and tasted it, and he had like two held for me. Well, I had those two, and I went ahead and grabbed like the remaining 6 or 8 that were right there.
Cleared the shelf.
Off of one sip.
And then when I left, I drove to another liquor barn and bought their 2 cases. Then I drove to another liquor barn and I bought their case. And then I contacted one of my buddies, lives in Western Kentucky. I can go to liquor barns down there.
Well, I stopped there.
And he got 4 to 5 cases of all the multiple the couple stores that are in Western Kentucky. He had a buddy pick up probably 18 or 20 from Louisville. And there was about 60 or 70 of these total.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
No, seriously, because
you all that sounds like bootlegging right there.
Well,
I mean, you didn't cross state lines.
That's right. That's true. You guys haven't tasted it yet. Just wait.
Yeah,
just wait.
No, I'm actually eager to now that you said that you've done what you did.
I did what I did, man.
Yeah, you've done it. You've done it. So, Stephen, do you remember we were recording episode 90? We did the Pikesville.
Yep, I do.
Rye, and I got lambasted by one of our listeners. Not getting lambasted, but I was saying I thought Pikesville Rye had to do with Pikeville, Kentucky.
I did too.
But I was calling it Pikesville, Kentucky, and it's not Pikesville, Kentucky. It's Pikeville, right? So he pointed it out to me, and I felt like an idiot, even though we know that Pikesville Rye originates as a heritage brand from Maryland. But I just thought I would mention that. So what I couldn't really pinpoint before we were starting to record here was whether or not there was any difference between Pikesville and Rittenhouse Rye in terms of the mash bill. And I don't think there is. But what I did find when I was doing a little bit of my research here was that it's always been a 51% rye. But when I scour the internet looking for the mash bill, I saw a variance between the corn and malted barley content. I don't know if that's just a bunch of people getting it wrong. And so we might be in the right ballpark there, but I thought that was worth mentioning because Pikesville is like the older brother of this one. It's a little bit older and a little bit higher proof. I think it was 6 years.
6 years, 110 proof.
110 proof. And so I don't know if any of you guys know anything different about those brands or have had Pikesville, but do you remember, Stephen, what we thought of that one?
I think we were both tries on that.
Yeah, we were both solid tries, and I remember...
Aren't those $59?
They are.
Yeah. 69?
Yeah.
59, 69?
They're up around that price point.
I think 69, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure. I think it's. Okay. I think you get it 59
maybe?
in most places, but it started off as like a $45 bottle. But like everything else Heaven Hill's doing, that price just keeps going up usually.
Yeah.
Well, let's go for our first tasting.
Sounds good.
Here we go.
Oh, bro. That's fruity. I get a lot of fruit. I'm on a fruit kick tonight.
I do get like the brown sugar, though, a little bit sweet.
Yeah.
Well, it might not be brown sugar, actually. It might just be more deep fruit, like you said. But no, I get a little brown sugary.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of like a yin and yang tasting.
Okay.
I feel like I get a little bit of funk in it.
Yeah.
But then there's also a lot of deliciousness to it.
So if I was to pick out a couple of fruits in my medley of fruits, I'm over here. Don't laugh, you. I see you laughing.
Are you going to pick out elderberry, cranberry, dingleberry?
Oh, God, I hope not dingleberry. We'd be in trouble with that one. I got a little bit of banana, a little bit of apricot, got some spice. You guys are looking at me like I'm crazy, but that's what I'm tasting. It's just like
I see the apricot.
A lot of bright fruits in this, not even really dark, and then it's contrasted with this like oak and like that bourbon backbone.
It's definitely bourbony.
Yeah, definitely like the nice bourbon flavors that you get, like some nice oak. I don't want to say smooth and vanilla.
I think
a little vanilla.
A little vanilla.
I think around mid tongue, I kind of get a quick taste of peach.
Okay,
like you said.
Yeah, yeah. I might be confusing the peach and apricot, but it's definitely got some nice flavors to it.
So when I tasted it, it's not life-changing, don't get me wrong, but for $35...
Or for just the normal bottle.
It blows away the 20, and but this particular one, because I've got 3 other picks of Rittenhouse Rye from other local places and one out of state, and they're really good, but they're not near as good as this one particular pick. We've actually blinded them multiple times, and this one comes out on top every time.
Wow. Well, I think that if I'm thinking about other ryes in the $35 category, I don't want to wait. Well, I can expand upon this and when we talk about pass, try, or buy. But you guys know, as a self-proclaimed Buffalo Trace tater, I'm partial to things like Sazerac Rye. I think, a bottle of Saz for $30 or $35 is a great buy. But when I think about a bottle of Saz compared to this, I know it's 10 proof points higher. I'm thinking, man, this is. I
think it's a lot better.
Yeah, this is definitely special. Like more. It's more rich, more complex. It just has like a better overall mouthfeel to it.
So, Kenny, how does this compare to the $25 bottle?
The $25 bottle is very just muted and does not have the sweetness of this. Doesn't have some of the deeper bourbon characteristics.
Okay.
So
sounds like
I never bought a regular one. I've tried the regular one. After trying it, I never bought it. And that's why I was real reluctant when my friend I said, "Hey, I'm gonna hold these." I'm like, "Okay, cool," But then once I tasted it, I'm like, "Wow!" So I came home after that night, and I blinded it against New Riff Balboa Rye.
Okay, which is a good pour.
Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
Oh, that's another one we reviewed. We liked
Pikesville Rye, Kentucky Owl.
Oh,
expensive rye.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Might have been E.H. Taylor Straight Rye and a couple else.
Yeah, and
this $35 bottle beat most all of those. Okay. Honestly, it beat all of them for me, except I was a toss-up between that and the Kentucky Owl, which is a $350 bottle.
Yeah.
It held its own, and that is why I went and accumulated a lot of them. But to be very fair, I accumulated and passed on at cost. I'm in several nice, good little cost plus groups, and I want everyone else to enjoy what I was enjoying. So I shipped out, goodness gracious, tons. I mean, I don't know, 45, 50 of them. Yeah. Something like that, just because I wanted everybody else to taste how refreshing this $35 bottle is.
Yeah, no, that's great.
In the world of 5-year, 6-year bourbons that are $100 to $120,
yeah,
a $35 bottle that just slays, man.
Yeah, I'm used to ryes being so spicy. And this definitely has, where do you guys get the spice in this? The spice to me comes just right at the back end, and it's very much light. Like if I had to pick, I'd say like maybe like a light,
light clove, numbing,
light clove, pepper-ish kind of.
But barely, and it's not a lot.
Yeah, and that's typically what people hate though, is they hate that overwhelming spice in rye. And this is like, it's all in the back, and it's very, very, very slight. Yeah. Like not even really present.
And I get it more towards the mid, because once it's there, and then once it subsides, then I'm still left with that sweet bourbony taste, man, afterwards.
Yeah.
So I guess we'd call it mid for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you mentioned Pikesville earlier, and I do have a Pikesville, and I said I did blinded against Pikesville. Mm-hmm. This beat Pikesville hands down, not even remotely close.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And one of my buddies who's a little more tied into the bourbon world than I am reached out to somebody with the last name that starts with an S and ends with an A that might know something about Heaven Hill. But he was, he had some very strong words about how dumb the Rittenhouse Rye pick program was.
Oh,
because how good it is.
Yeah, meaning that, think about this.
Dumb as far as on their side, money-wise.
From business side.
Mm-hmm. Great for us consumers.
Yeah, because if you think about it as a $25 bottle, if this is like a massive batch, like you were saying, it tasted kind of muted and flat. If you have a chance to pick one of the best barrels from there, and you do, this is a really strong barrel if you ask me. And before we get to that, I could see why somebody'd be upset about that.
Like I said, New Earth Balboa Rye, was it $69, $79?
Yeah, $69? I think so.
It's crushed it.
Yeah.
It's crushed.
So fellas, would you pass, try, or buy on the Rittenhouse Straight Rye Whiskey BIB?
Well, I think we should just get Kenny out of the way here real quick, because I would
only buy 70. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. You got his verdict, and so then I think it's.
I think he tried it and then bought it. I think he's a try, right?
He's a try. I'm
a try. There you go.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Steven, do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay.
I would be a buy on this pick.
Okay.
For only $10 more, and you're still getting it mid-30s.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for a pick, right?
That is pretty good for a pick.
And it's a nice, warming, enjoyable pour rye. Mm-hmm. Great dessert notes and a nice little spice at the end, but not too much. I really dug it tonight.
I like that. And I'm going to go right off that. And actually, just because you guys were making fun of me earlier, I just remembered something. So
that pour that he gave you?
Yeah, I wish I had a better memory of that.
Some long nights, though.
I think that, so I did recall something as we were talking. One time I was invited to a beer share at Jason from Arsenic Cultures.
Oh, they like the beer.
Yeah, they like the beer. And during that beer share, I think, Kenny, you had already said that you loved this pick, but I had not yet tasted it. And I think there was a bottle of this at the beer share, if I remember correctly. And I think I had a taste of it, and I liked it then, but I didn't have a lot of time. And plus, when you're tasting beer and bourbon and rye and stuff, it doesn't really shine through. And so it wasn't until I had a chance to taste it tonight to really appreciate what it is. And for that reason, man, I'd be a buy all the way. I remember liking it a little bit back then. Now recalling it. See, I can remember things that I drank now, guys. And I am going to be a buy.
Clean sweep?
All right, well, and I'm going to go as a buy, not just this pick, because this pick, you can't get it anymore. But okay. I have a Kroger pick.
Okay.
I have an Bluegrass Hospitality OBC Kitchen pick. A liquor store out west called Trevor's. All three have been great. So if I would definitely recommend, depending on which markets that your listeners or our listeners are in, if you see a Rittenhouse Rye pick, it should be good.
There you go. And that's good because you want...
Sometimes you can be leery on picks.
Yeah, exactly. And also, we also hear from you guys sometimes. You tell us, thanks for reviewing a bottle we'll never get our hands on. But guess what? This might be in your marketplace. So
should be available.
There you go. And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY. Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comments section. Until next time, keep it neat.